Welcome to Unirac. We'll see new features in your high availability of 19C version. A lot of changes made in your 19C. In that, one of the concept which is high availability data guard. So we'll learn today those made in 19C. So there are 10 features which we are going to discuss in this session. Dynamically change Oracle data guard broker, fast start failover target. Second, simplified database parameter management in Oracle data guard broker. Third, observe only mode. Fourth, propagating your restore points. Fifth, Flashback Standby database. Next, active data guard DML redirection. PDB recovery catalog. Clear flashback logs periodically, which is housekeeping part. Automatic outage resolution to tune the two parameters. Finegrained supplemental logging. So each topic, each feature we'll discuss as a part of data guard in 19C. So let's move on to the features. In this feature, just dynamically change Oracle data guard broker fast start failover target. So if you have two standby servers for a primary or more than two standby servers within the member list, prior to 19C we used to disable the fast start failover to failover from primary to standby within the member list. The member list in the sense more than one standby. Default we have one standby which is getting failover from primary to standby. Assume that standby 1 Hyderabad is the default, but we need to failover to your standby in Ohio location. So from 19C we don't need to disable your fast start failover. Using your data guard broker, the command line interface dgmgrl, we can set your fast start failover target to your target standby server. In our example, it's Ohio. Then you can switch your primary to standby to Ohio server. The primary Ohio, which is your previous standby, is now primary. We can verify using show configuration, the one which is active target as well. So this feature helps in terms of setting up your fast start failover target standby server. We'll go to the next feature, So in this feature, simplified database parameter management using Data Broker. Prior to 19C, there was an inconsistency between the DataGuard settings in database and also using DataGuard Broker. So DataGuard Broker and database settings are inconsistency that is being eliminated from 19C. So now from 19C we can use either SQL Star Plus or the command line interface, the DGMGRL. The changes can be done either SQL Plus or DGMGRL. The changes affected immediately. So this feature helps and it eliminates the inconsistencies. Let's move on to next feature. Observe only mode. So in this feature, Oracle has improved a lot. So we can test your automatic fast start failover without impacting your production database. We can create a test mode even during your normal production processing to check your failover. And using this test, the information can be used to tune your fast start failover properties. Also, we can discover what circumstances cause your automatic failover using observe only mode feature. These can be used for your drill activities or some kind of test cases, whether able to perform or not. Normally in the drill activity, we used to fail over and there could be a lot of issues and we need to have an impact downtime in your production. So now from 19C, this observe only mode bot, we can have a test case in your normal production processing. As well, we can tune well for better failovers without any impact. Let's move on to the next feature. So we know restore points. These restore points helps us in the event of logical corruptions to enable your fast point-in-time recovery. So these restore points are defined in the primary side, but whenever a failover happens, these restore points which are created in primary which are and stored in control file are lost. To avail the same restore points created in primary at the time of failover to avail in standby, from 19C, these are automatically created in standby. Is being updated with the restore points which are being created in your primary. So we don't have worry those restore points which are created in primary. And we need to note that to remember well, these are stored in your control file. The restore points are stored in your control file. So the meaning of propagate, whatever we create in primary is being created in standby. After failover. We'll move on to next feature. Flashback Standby. So one of the feature in 19C. So either the point in time recovery or flashback, if we performed in primary database, automatically it follows the same recovery procedure in your standby. And we have to ensure that the standby is in mounted mode. If so the standby is open, we have to keep it in mount state and restart the recovery. And this recovery automatically flashbacks the standby. So no user intervention is needed in standby if it's in mount state from 19C. So the operation performed in a primary, the flashback or the point in time automatically does the same operation in standby, which follows the primary. Earlier before 19C, in earlier versions, additional steps are needed if flashback is done in primary to do the same in standby. But from now 19C, it does automatically. But for that we need to set the parameter db flashback retention target. So the retention value we need to set to a sufficient high value so that the standby can perform these operations. So this flashback helps in standby automatically from 19C. So let's move on to next feature. So one of the feature active data guard DML redirection in 19C, where the changes the DML operations can also be performed in your standby active data guard from 19C. And whatever the changes been done in your data guard standby, it helps to redirect transparently to your primary. In this picture we can see a primary and active standby. The case 1, the DML operation has been done in your active standby. The same change is being redirected to primary in the second point. Once the DML is shipped and applied to the primary, till it waits, the ADG session waits till it applied, then the data change is streamed to your standby. We know that active data guard will be in read only with apply, but it can also perform the DML operations and will be redirected to your primary. Also, this redirection helps in your load balancing between your primary and standby as well. These DML statements also includes PLSQL blocks. So this feature lot helps from 19C, where ADG started from 11G, active data guard, one of the major feature, but now been improved with the redirection option. We'll move on to the next feature. PDB recovery catalog feature. So in this feature, the 19C release provides a complete backup and recovery flexibility for both the container database and pluggable database level backups, as well as restores. So now it supports, the recovery catalog supports even when the target database is pluggable database. When we know the recovery catalog to hold your metadata backup information, normally a container database is being used to connect to maintain the metadata. But from now 19C, even pluggable databases been accepted. We can use a virtual private catalog with a granular level permissions to perform your backup and operations, restore operations. We can have a separate user, VPC user, with the granted permissions to view the data as well. So the recovery catalog now made easy for your pluggable database even from 19C. So let's move on to next slide. We know fast recovery area. Very faster it fills with the backup flashback logs. You have huge usage, the operations made on your database, the flashback logs will be filled. Now from 19C, this fast recovery area management and database health are improved by automatically deleting these flashback logs. And this fast recovery area is very critical for your databases, which stores your backups, online read logs, archived logs, and flashback logs. If this fast recovery area is filled, your database will get hang, will shut down. You have to ensure that enough space on your fast recovery area. Either be increasing your space on your FRA, or we need to maintain a retention period to hold your flashback logs. If the retention period has been set with the parameter db flashback retention target, those files which are out of retention period is deleted immediately to resume your space on your FRA. So Oracle itself will monitor these flashback logs after configuring your retention period within the retention period. And those files which are out of retention period are being deleted. Now it's improved. So it comes under FRA housekeeping. So let's move on to next slide. Two new parameters have been introduced from 19C to detect your hung process and terminate, which is DataGuard max IO time and DataGuard max long IO time. What are the weights being found on your network either disk cause your DataGuard hang? So those processes, the time limit which we configured with these two parameters, the long IO operations or the IO operations are being terminated by itself. From 19C. So this is the internal mechanism of DataGuard. Of course, these hang processes may cause gap, delays in redo transport in your DataGuard. So we can set these parameters. We can tune your DataGuard. So let's move on to next feature. Final granularity supplemental logging. So what is supplemental logging in this? Prior to 19C, when we enable supplemental logging, the redo will not generate. So this will overhead having complete database which is being implemented in your logical standby database, the supplemental logging. But from 19C, a fine-grained supplemental logging is being designed so that only those uninteresting tables can be disabled. So with that, it reduces your overhead in terms of resource usage and redo generation with those tables. This is already there in your golden gate, which is called partial replication configuration. But now within the database is being implemented, introduced with the future fine-grained supplemental logging, so that a partial database replication uses to be disabled to supplemental logging for those tables. So we are done with your DataGuard features, which are part of availability in 19C. We'll see few more features in 19C other than your availability in the later sessions. Thanks for joining with us. We are closing the session. Thank you all.